Hello, Thomas Suprenant back again. Doing a fat makeup. This piece is one of the extras that I ran for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There was an episode this last season where one of our lead actors had to play a dual character, and I had a week to come up with a fat makeup and a full wig for him. And this doesn't fit exactly 100% to our model here. So I took and scored the inside. A little trick I learned on Star Trek, when we would have tons of prosthetics that weren't actually designed for a specific person. And when I designed this piece, it actually went off into the hair. So I'm gonna have to glue some of this hair down. And I'm going to start right now by prepping the face. There's this product I really love. I came across a while ago. It's the Alcone Barrier Cream, and used it quite a bit. And I find if you need to do more than one coat, put one thin coat down, let it dry completely, and then put a second coat on, very thin as well. Don't try to get a big gloppy thick coat on and wait for it to dry. That would probably inhibit the adhesion of the prosthetic. I also find if I'm doing blood work, it's kind of good to bathe the hands in this product as well. Kind of keeps back the staining. I'm using the Telesis number 5 thinner and adhesive. And just going in and getting a nice thin coat. It's probably thinned down 50-50. 50% thinner, 50% glue. Dusting a little powder in the inside that I put the contact style silicone medical adhesive Telesis number 5. I wouldn't recommend using an acrylic emulsion styled adhesive in any hair area. I think that would be probably very difficult to remove. But the silicone type adhesive works really beautifully, and it does come out. I find it's really critical to also have your model stay very still once you start getting to the neck. You can kind of crease the skin. Usually somebody's always popping in the trailer saying, hey, and then your actor will turn and get a nice little wrinkle of skin, and then you have to detach that. A little bit of powder. I go in with my bent brush for these tricky little areas here. I've got these lovely ergonomic tweezers with a nice bend on them. They're model maker tweezers from a company called Tamiya. I get them at Burbank House of Hobby here in Southern California. I'm sure you could find them at any good hobby store. I'm using extremely thin adhesive to go into those thin edges.
So you actually prefer the Telesis 5 over, you wouldn't suggest Prosthetic Paint?
You know, it's your call. I find this is just much easier. I have been on shows that that's what's supplied, that's what they want you using, just for continuity in the trailer, things like that. I really love Beta Bond as well. Beta Bond is a waterproof adhesive, acrylic emulsion, modified acrylic emulsion. Works beautifully. I think they have their place in the world. Traveling wise, it's much easier to pack Prostate or Beta Bond and carrying it on a plane these days, since this does have a solvent in it. I just kind of come from the world of 355 medical adhesive from Dow back in the old days when dinosaurs roamed the earth. But I find there's things you can do with a silicone pressure sensitive contact adhesive as opposed to a modified acrylic adhesive. There's that lovely Dick Smith technique where he takes the thinned, alcohol thinned matte spirit gums or plasticized spirit gums and lays the edge down, because it's the same theory. The alcohol, the thinner, is forcing the glue through the foam and tacking it down. See, I'm going on top of the appliance right now with very thin glue, and it's going through the cell structure of the rubber. I just love the edges I get with a silicone adhesive or a solvent-based adhesive. Once again, gluing into the hair isn't a problem when using like Telesis number 5, for instance. Doing bald caps. Don't get me wrong, I do use acrylic adhesives, but for this, I think this works really well. It's going to come off really easy too, without that gummy mess. It's a little, you know, it's more expensive, but it really, after all, it's your work, photographed. Material knowledge, I think, is one of the key elements to our craft. Being able to do an outrageous makeup, effects makeup with nose putty and cream foundations, I think that's wonderful. But knowing now what everything else out there, and just to say, a lot of these young kids coming in, they're spoiled with all these newfangled ideas. Get them out in the middle of nowhere and something's asked of them and it's like, oh dear. So the more product knowledge you have, the better. Another great thing is if you get a little wrinkle like that, or a rolled edge, just a little thinner, loosens it right up, then use your brush to gently walk it back out. Imagine what a person's going to look like if you're fortunate enough to see any family photos. Just see genetically how they're, you know, it's really neat to look through family photos to kind of see the way family members progress from really young to older. Immediately I put a little brush cleaner on my brush to get the gumminess of the bodice stipple out. Of course, that's Prosthetic thickened with Cavouceau. It's a pretty amazing product for painting prosthetics. It's the Thomas Suprenant Creations Prosthetic Paint. Comes in a wide variety of colors. Let's see. These are the kits. And there's several kits, a light kit, a dark kit, a medium kit, character kit number 1, character kit number 2. Ah, boy, just it goes on. Death kit, the Peter Montagna kit. It's airbrushable as well. It can be thinned with water. And it's very similar to Pax paint. But it's cosmetic pigment and dye and a modified acrylic adhesive, Betabon, as a matter of fact. Okay. I'm just going to go in with a rude speckling of undertone colors. When it gets onto the skin, I like to kind of fade it into a wash. A lot of times, for time's sake, especially for television, I go in with an airbrush on spatter and put all my fleshy color tones on. But it is kind of a noisy thing to try to talk over, so I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. and use a brush. I think I still know how to do that. A little bit of a golden ochre color and some fleshiness. Try to pick up several different points of color. This is a large powder. It's the Neil brush, and I really love these. They're great for bronzers and blushes and all sorts of beauty makeup purposes, but I really like this because I can dip and kind of squash this brush to cover a large area. Like for a bald cap, this is like my weapon of choice. Good question. They're white. They're white and they're hair, natural hair. Not quite sure. One of the things that I see are little edges that aren't as down as they possibly could be. So whilst the paint is drying, I'm going to go in and do a little filler here and there. Okay, this is the color Southwest Gray. It's great for veins. It's great for that bluey undertone. I like to refer to it as the Barney Rubble stubble. Yeah, I always thought you could get it in one fell swoop and make it perfect, but it's spatter. One less thing to beat myself up about. Right now I'm just doing a little brushing of Illustrator and a little Real Creations of kind of a fleshy color, just to kind of tone down the stubble a bit and just kind of even it up, make it happy. The last thing you want to do is get flecked in the eye with anything that has alcohol in it. Okay. I'm going to go in and clean up a little over spatter that's happened over here. Going back in with my Canadian brush here. A minute ago I used this to apply a beauty makeup foundation. Now I'm using it to stipple in prosthetic makeup foundation. And it's a multitasker. It serves more than one purpose, and I like that. When you go out and spend 45 bucks on a brush, it should do more than just one thing. Eyes closed, please. And keep your eyes closed till I tell you to open them, please. A little RCMA no color powder.